Leading our invocation this evening, Marine Corps veteran, Mr. David Privet.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all the many blessings you've given each and every one of us. Lord, we just ask you to be with us tonight to give us a good, safe evening. Give us a good, safe trip home. Thank you, Lord, for all the blessings you give all of us. We say all this in Jesus that we asked. Amen.
Race fans, in honor of those that have served and those that continue to serve today, Senoia Raceway proudly performs our national anthem. Singing the Star-Spangled Banner, Mr. Jason Ollis.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Mr. Jason Ollis. The prayer has been prayed. The respect has been paid. We are going to continue to have more fun here. DJ, before that, just want to say we had the cornhole tournament earlier.
Yes.
Ben didn't participate, so we couldn't have the announcer cornhole tournament. But we want to give a big shout out. Taylor and Austin picking up the win and $300 in the second annual cornhole tournament.
That's awesome.
Beautiful sunset as we're entering dusk here. Dustin, 6 heat races. Let's get ready to rock.
I love racing. I'd be just as happy listening to Jason sing for a while longer. That was fantastic, man. That was
Oakridge
awesome.
boys going up in here.
That's right. Papa, Mau Mau, baby.
Well, DJ, it's time for Integra Shocks and Springs Heat Race number 1. And here's how we're going to roll around 10 laps the distance. Top 3 of the feature. Winner will be on the pole here tonight. And your pole sitter out of Enoree, South Carolina, the 57 of Zach Mitchell. Into his outside, Cedartown, Georgia's Austin Smith in the 11.
Row 2 on the inside. Got some local flair. Michael Page out of Douglasville, Georgia on his inside, or on his outside out of Lynette, Alabama. A solid run last night for the 66K at Dylan Knowles.
Starting inside of row 3 out of Causeyville, Mississippi, it's Spencer Hughes in the 19M. Into his outside, Timmy McCready in the 58V out of Watertown, New York.
Third in this year's Lucas Oil rookie standings was Brendan Smith in the 17SS. He'll roll from the 7th starting spot. Matthew Taylor made the show last night, Ben. He's on his outside. He's out of Fort Valley, Georgia. And Chad Tootin, the Blackshear, Georgia native, will be starting shotgun on the field in this one.
That skyline, oh my goodness.
You can't, I mean, Bob Ross couldn't have painted a better picture than that.
You just took John's line. That's John's line. It's his favorite line. He said he couldn't work it in tonight. You just took it away from him.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, John, I'm sorry. Oh, no.
That's a knife to the heart there. But you're right, beautiful sunset. You should see it at times when we have some clouds, adding some extra color. But just provides just one excellent backdrop to the day and the racing we're going to see tonight.
John, I'm going to tell you right now, I've seen enough clouds this year. I'll take a cloud-free sunset any day of the year, any day of the week, I should say. No broken clouds either, Tiffany Swisher. As we get set, DJ, first of 6 heat races. Again, the top 3 move on. Last night, Zach Mitchell had some bad luck to start the night, but tonight, a lot of speed to start the night. And if he wins this one, he is on the pole for the 4th annual Peach State Classic.
Yeah, 4-time Ultimate Series champ as Zach Mitchell picked up that ride full-time with Brett Coltman and Coltman Farms Racing. You and I have said it many times, man, someone that's really come in and done a lot for this sport over the last few years by sponsoring different series, sponsoring events, and putting guys in race cars as well. So a huge thank you to the folks from Coltman Farms and Coltman Farms Racing. And they didn't do much to this racetrack, man. They're going to give these guys just a couple laps to go out and buzz the track a little bit before we turn them loose. And, you know, you made a good point off air where this is a track where you can almost see a little bit of that moisture coming up through, especially this late in the year.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's really nice out there right now. It's going to get cooler as the night goes on. They went and sprinkled the top in 3 and 4, and they rolled the rest of the racetrack. The moisture started coming back up, and Matt Curl, again, Fairbury Speedway owner, part of our staff, glad to have him here. Matt keyed up on the radio and said, hey, let's give him a couple green and yellow laps together. A little bit of that crumb across the slime, we should be good, and it looks good now, and we're going to double them up and get set to go for the first of 6 heat races here tonight.
57 degrees and clear.
It's
our
gorgeous
official
out
weather
there,
report.
man. I mean, it is November 16th, man. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, again, you aren't going to get better weather than this, man. It was a high of 70 today. You and Cheryl went to the lovely little farmers market there.
I love Senoia.
That's right. I left Matthew at Matthew Curl. Matt stayed at the house. I went and got myself some breakfast in downtown this morning, and it has just been an absolute.
Get here next year. It's
day.
such a neat area.
It's
Cheryl
cool.
actually wants to buy a house here, so we may have a house here in Fairbury and Memphis by the time it's done. For the one time a year we get to come here, but it's really neat. It's a great community. They're very welcoming, and there's something to do for the entire family, and I do mean that. It's a destination event.
I love the thought of you getting a house here and still renting our usual Airbnb here. I like the thought of that a lot.
I might just buy the Airbnb. It's so convenient.
I hope.
DJ, lights are down on the Speedway in Tegra Shocks and Springs Heat Race 1. 10 laps the distance, 3 to the feature. Everybody else to 1 of 3 B mains. Let's get the party started. Bring us to the green flag.
Winner's going to start on the pole of tonight's 75-lap, $30,000 to win main event. Zach Mitchell on the pole. And I don't know no.
Austin Smith was looking for that home state advantage, and not going to work. We're going to try it again. And again, you got to get out of free jail card. Wait, get out of jail free card with us. One of them. If you do it again, you're going to get pushed back. So, hey, if you're Austin Smith, let's see how far we can push things.
Well, and he knows not to push it that far this time. So
he pushed it really far.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he absolutely did. So we'll try it again. No harm, no foul. As Ben mentioned, you get 1 slap with the naughty stick, and after that, we'll move you back. Zach Mitchell on the pole in the 57. Austin Smith, as Ben mentioned, the Cedartown, Georgia native on the outside. 9 cars set to go 8 laps. This is heat race number 1 presented by Integra Shocks and Springs. Winner of this one starts on the pole of tonight's Peach State Classic.
That's more like it. And Zach Mitchell, fast qualifier Group A, will take him off into turn 1 in Integra Shocks and Springs heat race number 1. Second, side by side down the back straightaway. You got to think that Michael Page is liking more what he's seen out of this racetrack tonight in the 18X. He'll sit third. Austin Smith in second, but maybe not for long. Here comes Page. Page up to second.
And Page is able to slide by and coming off the corner, and he'll officially be in P2 at the end of lap number 1 behind your race leader, Zach Mitchell. Right now, Dylan Knowles trying to peek a nose down to the inside of the 11 of Austin Smith. That'd be the battle for the final transfer behind them. Trying to roll the high side of the speedway, Spencer Hughes in the JCM Motorsports entry.
Yeah, he's got company up there now as Knowles is going to move up there, and you got to think Hughes hates to see that. Breaks his momentum down the back straightaway. They're all trying to get to Austin Smith for the final transfer. That's the best race on the track. Austin Smith in the 11 has the spot, but here comes Hughes and Knowles. They're working on him out front. It is all Zach Mitchell and Michael Page.
See, this is the Senoia that we're used to right here, man. Look at Spencer Hughes roll that top side and get a run down the back straightaway. Hughes really thread the needle there. Sparkler and Snakes as they were flying off the car, and this time by at the line, moves Spencer Hughes up to position number 4.
Yeah, starting to clean that top up, and right now Austin Smith might be a sitting duck because he's running a different groove. He's a little bit lower. It's actually a lot lower. Spencer Hughes up top, out front. Zach Mitchell halfway home. 5 down, 5 to go. The battle on your screen on the right side for third. Austin Smith's got it. Spencer Hughes is right there. Man, that's some good stuff.
That is the battle for the transfer, as Ben mentioned. Now Spen's going to cross him over down the back straightaway. Doesn't quite have the momentum, so he'll go back up to the top. So the bad news for him is he just lost a lot of momentum there, Ben. He's got to go to the top side of the racetrack once again. It's going to take him a full lap maybe to get that momentum built back up in the battle for third.
I think he can get there, though. He's got a really good car. Austin Smith's got the spot, but here comes Spencer Hughes up top, this time at the line with 3 to go. It's still Austin Smith with the spot. Spencer Hughes all over him. 2 talented young drivers going at it for the 3rd and final transfer. Out front, though, Zach Mitchell gone, and look at that move out of turn 2.
Yeah, you're not missing anything up front. Spence going to clear him down in turns 3 and 4. Austin Smith will try to drive back down underneath. Not going to have the steam to do it. 2 laps to go in this one, and it's Zach Mitchell by a mile out front. Michael Page is second, and you just watch Spencer Hughes race his way into the final transfer. Ben, white flags out final time around.
Final time around the speedway. Zach Mitchell, a 2.4 second advantage over Michael Page. Page has got a good extension over that battle for the final transfer spot. Through 3 and 4, checkered flag is out. The winner of Integra Shocks and Springs Heat Race 1, Zach Mitchell.
Second spot is going to be, wait for it, there's Michael Page, and the final transfer goes to the 19M of Spencer Hughes, Austin Smith, Dylan Knowles, Timmy McCready, Brendan Smith, Matthew Taylor, Chad Tootin on the outside looking in. Third going to go to the 19M of Spencer Hughes, finishing in second. It's the 18X of Michael Page, and the winner of Integra Shocks and Springs Heat Race number 1. Man, he smoked him like a cigarette. It's going to be the driver out of Senoia, South Carolina in the Coltman Farms Racing Autism Awareness Bill Stein Shocks Vic Hill powered Longhorn. How about it for Zach Mitchell? Cody Early, he's going to slow down and grab a word with you.
Yeah, what a difference a night makes for Zach Mitchell as he pulls off the helmet. Zach, last night, issues. Man, what did the team do to make this car a whole lot quicker this evening?
I think we just put our heads together, you know. I know they done what they could with the racetrack last night, you know, but we've been here quite a few times when the racetrack's like this, and it seems like we got a pretty good package. Got to thank everybody that puts a hand on this thing. Got to thank Brett for putting me in good equipment, and I got to say hi to my wife at home.
Zach Mitchell, first career Castrol FloRacing Night in America presented by Kubota Heat Race winner. What a way to start the night for him.
Fantastic. Great job down there to Zach Mitchell. Great interview by Cody as we get set for K1 Race Gear's Heat Race number 2 winner. This one starts 3rd tonight, and a driver that didn't have much luck last night, looking for better luck here tonight. On the pole, it's Brandon Overton out of Evans, Georgia in the 76, and to his outside, the inaugural Peach State Classic champion, Chris Madden out of Great Court, South Carolina in the 44.
Got a pair of 14s and a pair of youngsters making up row number 2 on the inside out of St. Augustine, Florida in the 14 junior. That's the 16-year-old Trey Mills. And on his outside, the 19-year-old out of Renton, Georgia in the 14. That's Hayden Cowan.
Starting inside of row number 3, that'll be Jimmy Owens out of Newport, Tennessee. 1 win on the year for the driver of the 20. And to his outside in the 74X, a 4-time victor in 2024. It's Ethan Dotson out of Bakersfield, California.
Scheduled to have 3 more starters in this one. Rossville, Georgia's Landon Gentry, the lone new entrant here this evening in the 629. He'll go from the inside of row 4 on his outside. Appling, Georgia's Derek Dent in the 18. And Columbus, Georgia's J.R. Mosley in the 99. Slated to start shotgun on the field in this one. In all, slated to have 9 starters running 10 laps, Ben, with the top 3 making their way to tonight's main event. The 4th annual running of the Peach State Classic in K1 Race Gear Heat 2.
What's going to be interesting, what some of these crews told their drivers, this one especially guys starting further back. You saw Spencer Hughes go to work on the top side of the racetrack and really make some ground. And we talked about it. Down in 3 and 4, they watered it during the studio break because that was the end that was in the sun all day. But 1 and 2 is where Spencer seemed to be the best on the top side. We'll keep an eye on that. Right now, the racetrack is really producing some great racing. Hopefully, it's just a sign of what is to come the rest of the evening.
How about drivers from the South flexing their muscles in Integra Shocks and Springs Heat 1? And I'm not sure anything says Southern Racetrack more than having Brandon Overton and Chris Madden on the front row of K1 Race Gear Heat 2. 10 laps in distance, top 3 transfer. The green rag's going to wave off corner number 4.
And we are underway, and it's a drag race off into 1 and 2. Overton down low, Madden up top. Madden decided to call it a night early last night. Tonight, he's here to race for big money, and he's going to inch ahead of Overton for the lead off into 3 and 4.
He'll inch ahead of him for the time being. Overton, though, going to try to drive back down under him. They're side by side off corner number 4. Give lap 1 to Chris Madden. We've got 1 car in the wall coming off corner number 4, and it's Ethan Dodson in the 74X.
That car took off on him, and he caught the concrete out of turn 4. Aunt Sarah's calling in the background. And bad break for Ethan Dotson. Man, I think he just got in there a little bit of a slime, and the car took off, and he could not get it woed up and caught the concrete off turn 4. We are going to have an MD3 5-star bodies instant replay to see what went south for the ASD Motorsports California driver Ethan Dotson.
Yeah, I think you you hit the nail on the head, Ben, and I tell you what, he makes pretty hard contact with the wall here. As there you see him sliding up the racetrack. He catches the wall there, and man, that is a hard hit for that Longhorn race car.
Well, Cody, early, you're down pit side watching the racetrack tonight. Man, the difference at night can make the racetrack slow down. These guys are racing all over it. And I got to think down there in the hot pit, maybe guys aren't as on edge as what we saw last night. What's your perception down there?
After seeing how slick things have gotten, they may still be on edge. But I will make a point. You mentioned they watered the top of this racetrack in 3 and 4. They only watered from about the green mark in the center of 3 and 4 off. So the entrance into 3 is still dry, but they put water on the top of turn number 4. So that should be something to keep an eye on throughout the night. And that may have been what exactly Ethan got into when he hit the concrete out of turn 4.
Cody, you come here a lot in your travels with everything that you do. The racetrack we see here tonight, for the folks watching at home, this is the Senoia 85% of the time that we come to know and love, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. And I go back to what Bubba Pollard said on Facebook earlier this week. When it's smooth, it's good, and it's set up to be good tonight.
I think we may have the dreaded double record down there for Dodson as he caught the front and rear end of the race car. I tell you what, Tiffany, down the production trailer, if you want, we'll step aside, take a quick break, let them get Ethan Dodson's car off the racetrack. When we come back, one lap in the books. We're going to have the Deathridge Opticians Choose Cone, K1 Race Gear, Heat Race 2, Castrol FloRacing Night in America, presented by Kubota here at Senoia Raceway. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Senoia Raceway. Well, we thought we were going to need the double wrecker action for Ethan Dodson, but they're going to be able to get off with one on the back. And DJ, you talked about it. Wrong place at the wrong time last night. Yeah. And tonight just got in there and maybe got in some of that slime car, took off on him. But Ethan Dodson's another driver I think you're going to hear a whole lot of next year. And that ASD Motorsports team, let's not forget, they just made their announcement at PRI last year, and they really put a lot of things together in a short time. Tyler Alston Brashear's crew chief for that team. They gained a lot of momentum late in the year. They're planning to open the season at the Wild West Shootout with us at Vado Speedway Park in January. Shameless plug, wildwestshootout.net. Go over there and you can get tickets and more information. But I tell you what, you hate that for Ethan. Very talented, and he's a guy that I really thought could be a contender here tonight, but he's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, no, he absolutely does. Hey, talk about the Wild West Shootout real quick. Just real quickly, how about the great folks from Don Frank Floors, John Duty and family coming on board and sponsoring an incredibly cool promotion at the Wild West Shootout?
No, it's the absolute best, and it's the Don Frank Floors Heyday Payday, and everybody that buys a 6-day reserve ticket package, we're going to draw somebody in advance each night, and you will be paired. You'll shoot a dart gun at a wheel. You'll be get 1 through 6. That's your starting spot in the super late model feature. If that driver wins, you get 500. If that driver will get 500. If nobody wins, it rolls over to the next night. By the last night, a fan and a driver could get 3,000, and that's only for the 6-day reserve ticket pass holders. $155 for 6 nights of racing. Come on. Meanwhile, we got the Deathridge Opticians choose cone on the front straightaway. The leaders all buys once I'm on the front row. Let's see where everybody else goes. As Overton to the inside, his teammate's going to be to his outside. And we're going to hold serve all the way, except for J.R. Mosley. He said, you know what?
That's right. Because he said it don't matter.
It don't matter. I think tonight, especially in this feature, it is going to matter because as slick as this racetrack, and if it starts bleeding back, I think one restart to another, guys are going to make some different choices.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, here it is. 1 lap in the books, 9 laps to go. K1 Race Gear Heat 2 has got Chris Madden out front and teammates for the weekend, Brandon Overton and Hayden Cowan behind him in row 2.
And, you know, Cowan's another guy that hadn't had the year he wanted, but, man, talented youngster, and now he's got another 14, another talented young driver right there with him. And, oh, yeah, a veteran named in the 20 of Jimmy Owens. Owens enters the chat out front, though. It's Chris Madden, your leader.
Chris Madden out front trying to overcome issues last night in that 44 race car. And man, a good battle just off the screen behind him. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, all right there together as the battle for 4th on your screen. Trey Mills has it. Jimmy Owens trying to take it away, and he'll do so.
Oh, and Mills threw it in there a little too high. And Owens will take that 4th spot. He's 1 spot out of the show. He's got the Cowan Brothers Racing team cars in front of him with Brandon Overton and Hayden Cowan. Don't look now, though. Trey Mills puts the whip to it, and he heads upstairs. He thinks about a slider off into 3 and 4. He'll hold it down low, and they're both catching Hayden Cowan with 4 laps down, 6 to go. The battle for the transfer heating up, just like we saw in the first heat.
This is just such a fun, streaky racetrack, right? Like when this thing cleans off like this, it's so cool to watch him slide around and get the runs down the back straightaway. Owens now battling for a transfer with Hayden Cowan, as you mentioned, Ben. He's got a good run halfway home. 5 down, 5 to go.
Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. Owens a run out of 2 down the back straightaway. Cowan's going to fall back to 4th. Owens up to 3rd. And out front, Brandon Overton starting to make up just a little bit of ground on Chris Madden, but Madden still with a comfortable advantage. In fact, that time by 1.3 seconds.
And Jimmy Owens officially in sole possession of that final transfer as they crossed the line that time. So give it to J.O., shuffle the 14 of Hayden Cowan back, and don't look now, but the other number 14, the 14 junior at Trey Mills, starting to light a fire underneath the rear end of Cowan's white and blue 14.
A pair of 14s and a pair of teenagers going at it for that position, but I tell you what, Cowan's found a little something down there in 1 and 2. He gives away a little bit to Owens. He started to close in on him. It is go time, though, DJ, as they race back to 2 to go. 2 laps to go in K1 Race Gear Heat 2.
I truly don't know I mean, we have got some of the best camera folks in the business. I don't know that anyone in the world can truly capture how fun it is to watch these guys slide around on this racetrack, but they're doing a damn good job of it right now. White flags out. Final time around for Chris Smokey Madden.
Chris Madden off into 1 and 2. Brandon Overton in tow. In 3rd, it's Owens back. Oh, Owens a puff of smoke. And Jimmy Owens, smoke out of the back of the 20. Cowan around him, but Trey Mills is going to shoot to the outside. A pair of 14s for the final transfer. Madden's going to get the win. 2nd's Overton. Who's going to be 3rd at the line? The crossover. Trey Mills around Cowan.
From 5th to 3rd on the final lap amid the engine troubles for Jimmy Owens. Unbelievable. Trey Mills unofficially 3rd. Brandon Overton will cross in 2nd. In a wild ending to K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 2, we'll find that man making his way into the Tech and Scale area out of Gray Court, South Carolina, in the Gambler Transport Motorsports Driving Performance, Brickhouse Tavern, Victory Circle Auto Sales, Brad Benton Trucking, Clemens Powered Longhorn. How about it for the 44 of Chris Smokey Madden?
And a trail of oil out of the 20 of Jimmy Owens is going to tell that story as Madden down at the tech shed getting checked out right now. The winner of K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 2. And man, Owens, what a heartbreaker. And You know,
Yeah.
it's one of those deals. It could be a lot of things. Could be anything in the engine. Could be an oil line. Either way, Jimmy lost power and a heartbreaker. That's kind of, ever since Jimmy won at East Bay this year, DJ, it's kind of been the theme of the year for Jimmy Owens. Just wrong place, wrong time, and no luck. But a driver with a much better start to the night tonight than last night. Cody's rolled your way. Chris Madden, the winner of K1 Race Gear Heat 2.
Yeah, Chris, the big winner of heat race number 2. Man, you had a good World Finals. You're building off that. What would it mean to you to be the first 2-time Peach State Classic winner?
That'd be pretty awesome, you know. We love coming down here with Bubba and him and racing, and what a great facility he has here, great racetrack, and just hats off to those guys. They put a lot of time and a lot of effort in last night and today to give us something to race on, so we really appreciate that. Thanks to all the fans coming out, thanks to my family and all our great sponsors and everybody back home.
Chris Smokey Madden, winner of K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 2.
Chris Madden picks up the win there. DJ, wow. And how about Trey Mills? He got in out of the heat last night. Tonight, he and Hayden Cowan, future of the sport. 2 guys going at it. Love it. Teenager out of Georgia, teenager out of Florida. As actually, I don't know. I think actually Hayden might not be a teenager anymore. I got to check on that one. As we get set now for Buzzy Racing Products Heat Race number 3. And on the pole, a driver that had to watch last night, but tonight he's going to have a chance to start 5th in the main event. Hudson O'Neill out of Martinsville, Indiana, the 71, and to his outside, Will Harrington out of Hawkinsville, Georgia, in the 38.
Row 2 on the inside out of Loudon, Tennessee, looking for a little bit of redemption after last night as well. It's Corey Hedgecock in the Eagle-powered BMF number 23, and on his outside out of Whitesburg, Georgia, one of the really, really strong locals here at Senoia. It's going to be the 16H of Austin Horton.
Starting inside of row number 3, Max McLaughlin in the Nice Motorsports number 4 out of Mooresville, North Carolina. To his outside from Rutherfordton, North Carolina, it's Jake Jackson in the J1.
And your final 2 starters out of Paragould, Arkansas. In the 2, it's Tyler Stevens. In Ocala, Florida's Jackson Heiss, this year's Hunt the Front Rookie of the Year in the 388. So scheduled to have 8 cars on the track. We do. They will run 10 laps. The top 3 advance to tonight's $30,000 to win Peach State Classic out of Buzzy Racing Products, heat race number 3.
Little speedy drag going down on the racetrack from Jimmy Owens' mechanical failure. And Cody Early, I tell you what, man, we just watched in that last one, Trey Mills and Hayden Cowan, some drivers you get to see in your endeavors in the Southeast, and it's exciting to see these kids getting better every time they hit the racetrack and mixing it up with the veterans.
Yeah, and it goes to show you what Hayden Cowan this weekend, of course, he's teamed up with Brandon Overton, and they were actually talking before tonight's racing got underway, and Brandon and him were talking just outside of turn number 2. The opportunity for these veterans to help the youth will only make this sport better, and the youth's pretty talented as it is, so if they get any better, it could be scary in the future.
I rember a few years ago, I'm a lot older than I was when I started, and I was talking to one of the sprint talking to one of my buddies, a sprint car racer from Memphis, Dale Howard, and I said, Dale, I can remember, I remember these kids were born, and I'm announcing them racing, and he goes, yeah, they're out here beating me, and I remember when they were born. He goes, how old do you think you feel? But it's cool to see the next generation. That's what's so cool about our sport, DJ. It's a family sport, and it is. And Aunt Sarah keeps calling back there in Mayberry. But no, there is a rotary phone, I swear, in this box somewhere. But it is cool to see the next generation of these kids, man. And it's cool to see, not just here, but in the grandstands. We saw it in the campground, in the pit area today. It's just a great experience.
Every racetrack's got that junior flagman somewhere down there with their own custom set or homemade set of flags that they're flying around and everything. And it's cool to see it everywhere, man. It's the future of the sport for sure, John.
Dustin, I'm curious what will happen on this initial start where Jimmy Owens put down all that oil. You know there's an unanticipated hole somewhere in that engine, but a lot of oil, especially low into turn 1. They put down the speedy dry. The clay will absorb a little of that, but you don't know if it's all gone. So something additional for the drivers already struggling to find grip. Now there could be some oil low in turn 1.
Well, and they're giving them a couple of laps there. We put it down. We're running through it. And, again, our staff, especially you got Kelly Carlton in the tower. We got Matt Curl, Ray Cook down there trackside. And, really good staff. And we're going to definitely not put these drivers in a bad spot. Cody Early.
Yeah, and another thing I was going to emphasize on, you've seen Spencer Hughes in that first heat go all the way up to the fence somewhat. Then you see Ethan Dodson go over that edge. Now you're going to see Will Harrington up there. If somebody's going to challenge what that top side has, that 38 of Will Harrington may be the one that can get up there and find that speed, because he will give it a shot.
And he'll do it with his hat on sideways.
Absolutely was. An Atlanta Braves hat as well. That's a Matthew Taylor-owned entry driven by Will Harrington on the outside front row. The SSI Motorsports 71 of Hudson O'Neal on the pole. They fire coming off corner number 4, and we're underway in Buzzy Racing Products Heat 3.
Hudson, a feature winner with the series at Brownstown back in September, to the lead out of 2 down the back straightaway, and Buzzy Racing Products Heat 3. Harrington in second. Meanwhile, Hedgecock mechanical issues sidelined him early last night, side by side with Austin Horton for third. At the line, it'll be Austin Horton third, second Will Harrington, and your leader Hudson O'Neal.
Yeah, you could just see there on your screen, they're still 2 by 2 from third all the way back through the field as Hudson O'Neal opens up a nice little early advantage in this one, and the 2 drivers battling for third have closed in on the lone driver running in the second spot. That's Will Harrington, about to be 3 cars under a blanket for second right now.
And Hedgecock just took third away from Horton. Horton turns back down the hill. Oh man, third has been where the action's at in the first 3 heat races here tonight. Hedgecock now will go to the middle. They switch grooves. Horton to the bottom. This time at the line, it's still Hedgecock by a nose, and they're chasing Will Harrington in second. Oh, Hedgecock hit a hole, bounced up the racetrack a little bit, but you can really get a lot of momentum off of 2, DJ.
Hedgecock by a coin down there, as Sonic would say, as Corey Hedgecock looking good, but Austin Horton look a little better that time coming off the corner. Austin Horton back around him in the 3rd position. That's a highly entertaining battle. You're not missing anything at the front of the field. Hudson O'Neal with a 1.2 second advantage over Will Harrington, Ben, as they come around to the crossed flags.
That's right, halfway home. Horton's got that 3rd spot, but Hedgecock went way upstairs down in 3 and 4, and he found something. We'll keep an eye on that battle for 3rd. Behind that, the battle for 5th on your screen. McLaughlin's got it, but in front of him, Hedgecock looks to the inside of Horton. Maybe, I can't tell if there was any contact or not. Horton gets on the binders, and back into the 3rd spot will be Corey Hedgecock. Man, big time move down in 3 and 4.
You know, and it had to go with what you said the lap before, Ben. Corey Hedgecock went way high. He got a really good run off turn 2 down the back straightaway, and that was able to catapult him down to the inside and taking that 3rd spot away from Austin Horton. 3 laps to go in this one. 1.5 seconds the advantage for your race leader Hudson O'Neal on the left side of your screen. On the right side of your screen, that battle for the final transfer has been entertaining all race long. Now, Ben, with 2 to go.
And I tell you what, moving way up top is Hedgecock, as he has really found something up there. That's going to be something to watch in the next heat races.
As we get ready to come around to 1 lap to go, final time around for the new deal, Hudson O'Neal holding steady at a 1.8 second advantage over Will Harrington. Harrington has 2 seconds on the battle for the final transfer on the right side of your screen. Checkered flag in the air. Hudson O'Neal going to be the winner of Buzzy Racing Products Heat 3. Will Harrington second, and Corey Hedgecock, it looks like, is going to hang on to that 3rd and final transfer here in this one.
Coming on 4th, Austin Horton, Max McLaughlin, Jake Jackson, Tyler Stevens, and Jackson Heiss round out the field. Your 3rd and final transfer out of Loudon, Tennessee, Corey Hedgecock in the 23. Second to Hawkinsville, Georgia's Will Harrington. And your winner, he had to watch the show last night. Tonight from 5th, he'll go after a Peach State Classic title. Hudson O'Neal out of Martinsville, Indiana, and the Clements-powered Longhorn, SSI Motorsports Professional Concrete Cutting Solutions, Big River Steel, Wheeler Metals, Merrill Bonding, O'Neal Out Salvage and Recycling, Westside Tractor Sales, all sponsors in that subsurface of Indiana. 71, 12 wins this year for Huddy, and he is finished 5th in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series standings. And last night he had to watch and talk to his dad, Don, and Don had never seen this place before yesterday either. He said, what a cool facility. And Cody, I'm going to throw it down to you. I got to think Hud's feeling much better about Senoia today than he was here last night. Take it away.
Oh, most definitely. Watching the feature last night, racing his way in with a Buzzy Racing Products Heat Race 3 win. He'll get ready to take the helmet off. 13th career heat race win. That ties him with Mike Marlar and Bobby Pierce at top of the list. And I tell you what, I thought we would see some of these drivers that had kind of some trouble last night make some changes and be a factor. And Hudson O'Neal, what a difference a day makes. Man, y'all have made some big adjustments, and it's showing after that heat race win.
Yeah, we just worked hard at it today. We felt pretty good there. Like you said, what a difference a day makes. We were kind of down the dirt after last night, but the racetrack was uncharacteristic for this place, so we were happy to rebound and have a good night here tonight, and appreciate all my guys, and hopefully we can hang in there and have a good run here tonight.
Hudson O'Neal, winner of heat race number 3, presented by Buzzy Racing Products. I tell you what, these drivers, there's a whole different appearance when they come by victory lane. There's a lot of smiles on these faces tonight, guys.
Well, the smiles are going to go away soon when they got to figure out what to do for 75 laps and this $30,000 check. But yeah, some smiles down there right now. Again, great job to HUD, great job Cody. DJ, it's time for iBox Springs Heat Race 4, and the winner of this one starts where?
Yeah, so you're going to start on the outside front row.
And
Whoever wins this one's going to be smiling because this is a loaded heat race. Last night's winner, originally out of Chandler, Arizona, Ricky Thornton Jr. going to start on the pole, seeking his first Castrol FloRacing Night in America, presented by Kubota Title on his outside, out of Milton, Florida. Good qualifying effort for the 10 of Joseph Joyner.
Starting inside of row 2, your newly crowned Coleman Farms Racing Southern All-Star Champion for 2024, Dalton Cook out of Salem, Alabama in the 44D, and to his outside, third in the Castrol FloRacing Night in America standings out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, it's Dalton Wilson.
We move back to row number 3, and on the inside we find the driver out of Zebulon, Georgia in the 25 is the 2015 Outlaws champ, Shane Clanton. And on his outside, he was one of this year's Lucas Oil Rookie of the Year contenders. The 93 is Carson Ferguson.
Inside of row number 4, he is our defending champion and current Castrol FloRacing Night in America point leader, Bobby Pierce out of Oakwood, Illinois. And he's got his work cut out for him as only 3 move on out of this one. And to his outside, Montana Dudley out of Phoenix City, Alabama in the 7. And your final starter out of Douglasville, Georgia, Lamar Haygood. 9 cars, 10 laps, top 3 move on. Winner starts outside front row in iBox Springs Heat 4.
Absolutely, man. As we said, what an absolutely loaded heat race here. And that Castrol FloRacing Night in America Championship points battle is going to get interesting starting right now. As I just ripped the headset off of John Matthews over here beside of me. But Bobby Pierce, who comes into tonight leading the Castrol FloRacing Night in America point standings, has to come from the 9th starting position in this one. My goodness. And he has got the guy that is trailing him coming into the 9th point standings. He's got Ricky Thornton Jr. right now starting on the pole of this one. And again, the winner of this one will start on the outside front row of tonight's 75-lap, $30,000 to win main event. Again, as Ben mentioned earlier at the top of the show, as the lights come off, it's a 21-point advantage for Bobby Pierce over Ricky Thornton Jr. heading into tonight's event. Yellow lights turned off, green flag going to wave this time. This is iBox Springs Heat Race number 4, 10 laps in distance, top 3 transfer. Winner starts on the outside front row of the Peach State Classic. Off into turns 1 and 2. Ricky Thornton Jr. with the initial advantage. Look at the run. Joseph Joyner is going to get down the back straightaway, though. Joyner going to try to keep the momentum going side by side by side from third on back. The end of lap number 1, it's RTJ, Joseph Joyner, and Dalton Cook going to round out the top 3, Ben, with 1 lap in the books, 9 laps remaining.
Shane Clanton and Dalton Wilson side by side for 4th down the back straightaway. They set their sights on Dalton Cook, and it seems like every race so far, DJ, the battle for third's been the best one. Bobby Pierce working in the shadows as well. He's obviously guaranteed a provisional tonight, but man, he wants to start further up than that. Right now, he rides back in position number 7, and only 3 move on to the main event out of this.
Absolutely, on an incredibly racy track, but in the same sense, man, it can take a long time to complete a pass on this racetrack. It's really unique. Green flag laps, you got to keep your momentum up, and Pierce would love nothing more than to not have to start back in either the 25th or 26th position here this evening.
Meanwhile, Dalton Wilson on your screen goes after Shane Clanton for the 4th spot. Clanton's going to hold serve on that position out front. Ricky Thornton Jr. putting that car anywhere he wants. Once again, we saw it last night. Joseph Joyner, good run in 2nd. Battle heating up for 3rd, though. Dalton Cook's got it. Clanton's there. And, man, Dalton Wilson hit the turbo button out of turn 2 as he closes in. 3 cars going after that position. You see on the right side of your screen. Meanwhile, on the left side, Ricky Thornton Jr. working lap 6. He's cruising away here in iBox Springs Heat Race number 4.
You know, it's so fun to watch those guys get that run on the high side down the back straightaway when they come off turn 2, right? I mean, it's incredible to watch. Right now in 3 and 4, most everyone down on the bottom of the racetrack. You can see Carson Ferguson there popping in and out of your screen, trying to tiptoe around the top, and then down in 1 and 2, they're kind of all over the place. Meanwhile, Bobby Pierce, Ben, he started this race back in the 7th position. Well, that's where he currently rides. He's on the right side of your screen, and again, he's got a 21-point lead over Ricky Thornton Jr. heading into tonight.
Yeah, Bobby Pierce had never seen this facility before this weekend. Strong run last night, much different conditions here tonight, as they're going to keep wrenching on it, but he's going to be buried in a B main, and very possibly could have to take a provisional, but 75 laps a long way, and he's got to get more than within 7 positions of Ricky Thornton Jr. to hold the title. Right now, though, Thornton's going to see the white flag out of turn 4. DJ one more time around the speedway in Ibach Springs Heat 4.
RTJ holds down the top spot by 2.4 seconds over Joseph Joyner. Final time around, Dalton Cook going to hang on to the final transfer on the right side of your screen as the checkered flag waves. It's RTJ getting it done. He'll start on the outside front row here tonight. Joseph Joyner finishes second, and Dalton Cook will grab the final transfer ahead of Shane Clanton, Dalton Wilson, Carson Ferguson, Bobby Pierce 7th, Montana Dudley 8th, and Lamar Haygood rounding out the field.
Your third and final transfer will go to Dalton Cook in the 44D. In second, it'll be Joseph Joyner, the Florida driver, in the 10. And your winner out of Martinsville, Indiana, Ricky Thornton Jr., the Kohler Motorsports, Hoker Trucking, Coleman Farms Racing, Ultimate Towing and Recovery, Capital Waste, Bill Stein, Sharp Advantage Safety Products, 5-Star Metal Buildings, EMD Wraps, Sunoco, all sponsors on that Clements Powered Longhorn. 28th win of the year came last night. Tonight he's going to start outside front row. And if he can outduel Bobby Pierce in this feature tonight, he would not only be the 2024 Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series champion, he would be the Castrol FloRacing Night in America champion for the first time in his career. A long way to go, but the first part of the journey is there, and we'll go down to Cody Early with your winner, Ricky Thornton Jr.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's chasing this championship, and he is doing everything possible for him to possibly come home with this Castrol FloRacing Night in America presented by Kubota Championship as Ricky Thornton Jr. gets ready to take off the helmet. A perfect night last night, perfect so far. Ricky, you was moving around in that heat race. Kind of tell us why you was kind of moving up through the racetrack throughout the race.
Just kind of seeing what we got for later. I feel pretty good there. I feel like I get charged down in turn 3 pretty good. Just trying different lines. I feel like intermission they'll probably go out and water the top again or something. So I don't know. I think overall track's really good tonight. I think everyone at Kohler Motorsports, my wife back home, my boys, my little girl. Hopefully we can stay up front here in this feature and see where we end up points-wise. I don't know where Bobby ended up there, but at least we're doing everything we can to try to put ourselves in the best spot.
Ricky Thornton Jr., the winner of Ibach Springs Heat Race number 4. Ben and Dustin, if you remember when he won this race in 2022, that was kind of the start of the RTJ momentum.
Yeah, and he won it by 8.5 seconds. You better look out if Wolf Dog's around here. The full moon's coming out, DJ.
No.
I tell you what, our staff, they get some amazing shots, and that's a really cool, and nothing screams fall
like that picture right
full
there.
moon. I love it. All right, well, Sweet Manufacturing Heat Race number 5, and the winner of this one here tonight is going to start 4th in the 75-lap feature. On the pole, 3rd last night out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. 8-time winner this year, the 58 of Garrett Albertson. Into his outside, fresh bullet under the hood today out of Hampton, Georgia. It's Ashton Winger in car 12.
We move back to row 2, and on the inside we find the 2021 Southern All-Stars champ out of Commerce, Georgia, Peyton Freeman behind the wheel of the F1. And on his outside in the 42 out of North Augusta, South Carolina, that's Clay Knight.
Inside of row 3 out of Blairsville, Georgia, Jonathan Davenport in the 49. He led lap 1 last night before Mechanical Gremlins knocked him out. And to his outside, the 2024 Senoia Raceway 604 late model track champion, Zach Leonhardi in car 24.
Moving back to row number 4 on the inside out of Fort Payne, Alabama, JTC Wright in the 1JT, and on his outside, he's going to have a pretty tough row to hoe. It's the driver out of Brandon, Florida. The 40B is Kyle Bronson. Your final starter out of Ellaville, Georgia, Hadley Green in the number 2G, gives us 9 cars to run 10 laps. Once again, the top three will transfer, and this is Sweet Manufacturing Heat Race number 5.
Well, Garrett Albertson showed speed last night, drove a good, smart race, came away with another podium finish. I felt like Garrett has 8 wins this year, but man, he's been on the podium a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about another driver that's going to have a big year, I really think, in 2025. And another one will be starting the year with us at the Wild West Shootout with all his family, Kathy, Craig, Uncle Steve. They'll all be at Vado in January. And alongside Ashton Winger. Ashton's schedule has got really fun over the past couple years. You never know where he's going to pop in, but you can guarantee if there's a big race at Senoia, he's going to be right here, and he would love to rebound from some bad mechanical luck last night.
Let's get Winger to the Wild West Shootout. Now that would be.
We've been talking to
That
him.
would be fun.
There,
I know.
There's a chance.
I know.
There's a chance.
All right, here we go. You're saying there's a chance. Garrett Albertson on the inside, Ashton Winger on the outside. They'll fire off corner number 4. Sweet Manufacturing Heat number 5 is underway.
Good start. Drag race off into 1 and 2. Albertson's going to let it slide up across the racetrack. Winger will go all the way to the concrete, gets a run off 2 down the back. back straightaway. It's Alberson, Winger, Freeman, and he's got a lot of company in that battle for third.
Yeah, indeed, including Jonathan Davenport, who's trying to work his way to the outside of the racetrack and at least position himself to maybe take a transfer spot. Right now, the 49's on the outside looking in as he goes to the high side of Clay Knight. Superman with the cape flying in the breeze, going to work his way around Clay Knight, and Ben, he'll now go for third.
And Kyle Bronson from the back, he's moved his way up to position at number 5 as Bronson on the move as well. As you talked about it, the battle for second, third, and fourth getting good as here comes Davenport, crossover on Freeman off into 3 and 4.
That is the battle for the final transfer. Peyton Freeman has it. Jonathan Davenport trying to take it away as they quickly close into the rear deck lid of the 12 of Ashton Winger. Davenport that time by going to grab that third and final transfer after starting in the 5th position and falling back on the opening lap.
Peyton Freeman looks to the inside of Davenport. Davenport way up top. Meanwhile, out front, Alberson checked out, gone here early in Sweet Manufacturing Heat Race number 5. Ashton Winger in second. He's going to have company pretty quick, though, because Davenport's coming and he's bringing Freeman to the party.
I mean, that run Davenport's getting off turn 2 is incredible, and he is really making the high side work in turns 3 and 4 as well. He'll drive underneath Ashton Winger down in turns 1 and 2. He clears the 12 in the second corner. You've got a new bridesmaid, Superman Jonathan Davenport.
And that'll push Winger back to the third spot. Winger going to drive it into the bottom at 3 and 4. He'll keep it down there. Meanwhile, Peyton Freeman in 4th, but Kyle Bronson with a head of steam marching on the top side. DJ 6 down, 4 to go. On the right side of your screen, you see Bronson closing in on Freeman for the 4th spot. On the left side, Garrett Alberson doing a little test and tune for tonight's main event. This racetrack's really good.
It sure is. 2.1 seconds the advantage the last time by for Garrett Alberson, and Jonathan Davenport is able to take a little over 2/10 off of it. So he's cutting into the lead as you see Kyle Bronson battling for 4th on the right side of your screen, but at 2/10 a lap, Ben, it won't be enough as there's just 2 to go this time.
There's just 2 to go, but I tell you what, Freeman just got a big run trying to get Winger for the final transfer spot. Garrett Alberson's going to race back to the white flag. This one has been good, and don't count Freeman out with 1 lap to go.
Final time around, and once again, for I think the 5th heat race in a row, the battle for the final transfer is going to come right down to the line. Alberson has this one in hand. Davenport by himself in second. Battle for the last transfer on the right side of your screen. Ben, checkered flag is out. Garrett Alberson will win. Jonathan Davenport second. Who's going to get third?
Yeah, off of turn 4, Ashton Winger third. 4th will go to Peyton Freeman. 5th to Kyle Bronson. Then it's Leonardi, Seawright, Clay Knight, and Hadley Green rounding out the field in what was an entertaining Sweet Manufacturing Heat 5.
Sure was. Third goes to the 12 of Ashton Winger. Second to the 49 of Jonathan Davenport, and the winner of Sweet Manufacturing Heat Race number 5 out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, in the Mesilla Valley Transportation Romer Machine and Welding Low Voltage Solutions, Lucas Oil, Dunrate TV, Bill's Sports Shop, Clements Powered Longhorn for Ken and Beth Roberts. How about it for Garrett Alberson?
You owe me $100 if Garrett isn't smiling when he talks to Cody early.
The odds on Garrett Alberson smile, I didn't think that you could bet on that. Those odds would be so high.
Him and R.C. Whitwell.
That's right,
down to you, Cody.
Thanks, Ben and Dustin. We'll see if you can cash in right here in just a second as he's still hunting for that first Castrol FloRacing Night in America presented by Kubota win. A podium last night for Garrett Alberson as he gets ready to take the helmet off. Tell you what, this car leaving looks faster than it was last night. Garrett, a podium last night. What do you think you got to do to put this thing 2 spots better?
Just got to make good decisions right there. Track's really fun. I was just kind of easing along, and all of a sudden I seen them sticks close up. I thought I better get going here. So now car feels super maneuverable. Just hopefully we can. I don't think it needs a lot. Just tinker a little bit, and this track's awesome.
Garrett's happy, and by the way, I will confirm there was a smile when the helmet come off.
Yeah, DJ owes me $100, so Vegas would not even let you bet against the Garrett Alberson smile.
I don't think that's how that works.
Oh, Alberson family, some of the finest people you'll meet. As we get set now for Poske's Racing Parts, Heat Race number 6, and DJ, how about a couple of masters on the front row?
You aren't kidding about that. It's going to be New Waverly, Texas driver Tyler Erb starting on the pole with the Best Performance Motorsports number 1, and on his outside out of Bloomington, Illinois in the 25, the high side hustler, Jason Feger.
Row 2 will be Tyler Millwood out of Kingston, Georgia in the 31, and to his outside, Nick Hoffman, the Tide Torque Racing number 9 out of Mooresville, North Carolina.
I mean, there are some mashers in this heat race. Sam Seawright on the inside of row 3. He's in the 16 out of Fort Payne, Alabama, and D. McDonald McIntosh out of Dawsonville, Georgia on the outside. He is in the Hicks 79.
And your final 2 starters will be Dennis Erb Jr. out of Carpentersville, Illinois. Good run last night. He's got a whole dug to start tonight, though, in car 28 to his outside out of Gray, Georgia. The one in of Jordy Nipper, 8 cars, 10 laps. Winner starts 6. Top 3 move on. This is the 6th and final Castrol FloRacing Night in America Super Late Model Heat presented by Kubota. Coming up after this, we'll have a pair of 604 Crate Late Model B mains. We'll come right behind them with our Super Late Model B mains. And then, DJ, we'll get ready for championship night here at Senoia.
Did you get a good look at the moon tonight, Ben?
I did.
Do you know what kind of moon that is?
I do, and I want you to say it.
No, I defer to the meteorologist John Matthews.
John Matthews, what is this moon called?
Yeah, what kind of moon are we looking at here?
Well, last night would have been the full beaver moon. That's the name for the moon in November when trappers would set their snares to catch beavers, or beavers would go into the den that they had built for the winter. The full moon. What?
The full beaver moon. I missed it.
So is this a partial beaver moon? What is this tonight? What do we have tonight?
Is it 9 o'clock yet? That may depend on the answer.
What is the moon called? You're the meteorologist.
Well, technically it is now just a waning gibbous moon at this point. It's past full moon.
DJ, that was going to be your first tattoo, was a waning gibbous tattoo, so...
Better than I thought you were going to say. We're going to green flag racing next time by
Hey,
here.
who said that green cars were bad luck? Look at your front row. You got Tyler Erb and Jason Feger. Feger had never seen this place before yesterday. Meanwhile, Tyler Erb's just been marching across the South collecting big checks over the past month.
Yeah, he sure has, man. I mean, the Fall Classic at Why Not? Another, by the way, just tremendous field of cars. A great racetrack there. Charles Thrash and the gang at Why Not? And then the National 100 at East Alabama that saw Turbo get $50,000 in that one. He's going to try to win Poske's Performance Parts Heat Race number 6 here this evening.
A couple of green cars drag racing off in 1 and 2. Turbo down low. I bet he lets it drift up the racetrack. Indeed, he does. He'll be your leader, but here comes Feger. And this is a Nick Hoffman racetrack tonight. This feels like the kind of track where Nick could be really good in that 9 car, and he sits in 3rd.
Yeah, he does at the end of lap number 1, just behind Jason Feger. And your race leader, Tyler Erb, your final heat race of the night. 1 lap in the books, 9 laps remaining, and right on cue, Ben. Nick Hoffman trying to drive down to the inside of the 25 of Feger, but Feger got that proverbial good run off the high side of turn 2.
Well, you talk about your leader, Tyler Erb, 19 wins this year. In second, Jason Feger, 17 wins, got the UMP National title and back-to-back Mars champion. And then Nick Hoffman, I think next year is the year he really makes a run at a World of Outlaws title. He got close this year. I think all the pieces are there. 9 wins this season. And another one of those modified graduates that has really shined in dirt late model racing in a very short time.
Yeah, absolutely. And a likable dude as well. And I say that he may or may not be a fellow St. Louis Cardinals fan.
No, nobody's perfect.
Like I am. Okay,
I tell you what, though, Tyler Millwood back in 4th, not letting Nick Hoffman out of his sights as we complete lap number 4, working lap 5. And Millwood, former Ultimate Late Model Series champion on the outside looking in, but he's trying to find a way into a transfer spot.
Yeah, and who could forget that run Millwood had last year at East Bay Raceway Park a year and a half ago on opening night, coming from the 21st starting spot up inside the top 5 by tiptoeing around the top side of the racetrack. He's not running the top here tonight. He's got that 31 car down on the bottom, and right now he is 1 spot out of a transfer, 0.8 of a second behind Nick Hoffman as they come around to 4 to go.
Yeah, just 4 laps to go, and Tyler Erb holding a solid lead in this one, 1.6 seconds. Feger might have his hands full before this one's over, though. Working lap 7, Hoffman closes in on him, and Jason Feger entered tonight 4th in the point standings and trying to put a wrap on a season that he wasn't even going to do with the series, but he's had a really good year, and I think you're going to see Jason Feger back out on the road with us next year.
I think you are as well. Right now, though, he's got bigger things to worry about. As you mentioned, he's got to try to fend off the challenges of Nick Hoffman, and that's a difference in 6 starting spots in tonight's main event. The driver that finishes 2nd in this one will start 12th. Here tonight, the driver that finishes 3rd will start 18th here this evening. Just 2 laps to go in Poske's Performance Parts Heat 6.
Off of turn number 4, Tyler Erb has run every groove on this racetrack. I'll be interested to see what he has to say about Cody Early, about what he thinks for the feature. But the white flag is out, DJ, and off into 1 and 2 for the final time. Tyler Erb out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. They will race back to the checkered flag.
And Jordy Nipper's got problems in the number 1. He tried to yield that car to the inside of the racetrack and almost got hammered. No harm, no foul. And we race to the checkered flag. Tyler Erb's going to get the win. Jason Feger finishes 2nd, and Nick Hoffman will finish third, and we've got extracurricular activity on the back straightaway with Jordy Nipper and Sam Seawright.
A autograph session meet and greet. But the third and final transfer out of Mooresville, North Carolina, Nick Hoffman in car 9. Second to Bloomington, Illinois, Jason Fager in the 25. And the winner of Dave Poskey Performance Parts Heat Race number 6, it's Turbo Tyler Erb, the new Waverly, Texas native. Entered tonight 9th in the series standings. The Best Performance Motorsports, Sunoco First Class Septic, Anthony's Pizza, Langenfelter Mechanical Contractors, Pee Wee's Record Service, Roberts Speed Company, Kaiser Manufacturing, and JRR Trucking, all sponsors on the Clements Powered Rocket. For Tyler Erb, he will chase his 20th win of the year and his first ever Castrol win from the 6th starting spot. Cody, down to you.
Turbo's going to pull it over. Tell you what, we've seen these drivers last night didn't have the best of luck, rebound and have a good night tonight. Turbo's getting ready to take the helmet off as our final heat race winner of the night. And I tell you what, I'm going to ask him. He might have got some good advice for going into the night. He had a chance to speak with the Cat Daddy, Clint Smith. Turbo, before you got on the racetrack tonight, you might have got some advice from a guy that knows a lot about this place, the Cat Daddy.
Yeah, me and Clint, he's a great dude. He's given us a vehicle that we've torn up this week. Just, he makes us feel at home here, and Bubba, everybody that is a part of this deal. It's a really cool race, and you couldn't ask for two totally different racetracks. And, tonight actually feel really, really good about it. So just, got to tune on it, make it a little bit better, and hopefully we have a really good run this feature.
Tyler Erb, our final heat race winner of the night. I tell you what, he's got a smile on his face, too. He could be fun to watch for 75 laps.
Well, thank you very much down there, Cody, and congrats, Tyler Erb, the winner of Poskey Performance Heat 6. As we look at the waning gibbous, what is it? Waning gibbous? What do we call this thing, John?
Not crescent. How about we just go with that? It looks pretty full. It's a day pass.
The non-consensual crescent. That's what we'll call it. Tiffany, I think also we've got a little promo going on with Flo right now. Let's roll that up on the screen. And 20% off right now, the QR code if you're watching at home, 20% off all Flo merchandise. Now, what makes me happy, DJ had to pay full price for that a couple weeks ago. You can get that same red hoodie he was wearing yesterday, 20% off. Scan the QR code, and I think we also have some new merchandise coming your way around the Gateway Dirt Nationals and Derma Snowball Derby. But scan that QR code, shop Flo Sports, 20% off all items right now. And right now as well, it's time for the first of two 604 Crate Late Model B mains, and we're going to turn